Hello students, I am Priyanka Rai and I welcome you all on my YouTube channel. So in my last video you have seen certain functions of commercial bank. We have discussed currency authority, bankers bank and bankers to the government. Now there's yet another function of central bank, that is controller of money supply and credit. Let us see how bank controls credit and money supply in an economy. As you can see, it is written, due to economic fluctuations, the central bank, that is RBI, control the money supply and credit in the best interest of the economy. As RBI has a sole monopoly in currency issue, it can control credit and supply of money. Now let us see the methods of credit control. The very first method is repo rate or repurchase rate. Repo rate is a rate at which central bank of a country, that is RBI, lends money to commercial banks to meet their short-term needs. So, in order to meet the short-term needs, commercial banks approach to central bank for money, and the central bank advances loan against approved security or eligible bills of exchange. And the central banks, they give loans to the commercial banks, but they ask for some securities or eligible bills of exchange. Now, how increase in repo rate is going to affect the economy or money supply? Let us see. An increase in repo rate increases the cost of borrowings from the central bank. That means that if there is slight increase in repo rate, so the cost of borrowings from the central bank will be increased, and its result will be as that if cost of borrowing is increased, the commercial banks also increase their lending rates, and if the lending rates is increased, it discourages borrowers from taking loans. That means at higher rate of interest, at higher lending rates, the borrowers approach less to take interest, and in that way it reduces the ability of commercial banks to create credit. So a decrease in the repo rate will have the opposite effect. So students, you just understand how increase in repo rate is affecting the economy and the vice versa is the situation. So what is repo rate? As told, that repo rate is a rate at which central bank of a country, that is RBI in India, lends money to commercial bank to meet their short-term needs. That means for meeting the short-term needs, if commercial banks need help, then they approach to central bank, and central bank lends money to commercial bank in exchange of securities or bills of exchange. Now when the repo rate is increased, so the cost of borrowing is definitely going to increase, and it forces the commercial bank, if the cost of borrowing is increased, then commercial bank also increases their lending rates, which discourage borrowers to take loans at higher rate of interest. So it reduces the ability of commercial banks to create credit. That means commercial banks not able to create credit, and thus money supply and credit is controlled. And if there's a decrease in the repo rate, it will have opposite effect. That means a decrease in the repo rate will decrease the cost of borrowing from the central bank, and if the cost of borrowing is decreased, central bank commercial banks will, what they will do, they will decrease their lending rates, and if the lending rates is less, then more of borrowers will be interested in taking loans. So thus it will increase the ability of commercial banks to create credit. So there is a vice versa effect. You just understand how increase in repo rate is affecting the economy, and thus vice versa will be the decrease in repo rate. Now let us see bank rate, also known as discount rate. Bank rate is a rate at which central bank of a country, that is RBI, lends money to commercial banks to meet their long-term needs. So we have seen in repo rate, the definition more or less is same. Just the difference is that there the short-term needs is there, and here in bank rate long-term needs is there. So RBI has been actively using bank rate to control credit. Bank rate has the same effect as that of repo rate. That means if bank rate is increased, again the cost of borrowing from the central bank will be increased, and if the cost of borrowing is increased, so commercial bank will increase their lending rate, and if lending rates are increased, then again it will discourage the borrowers from taking loans, which again reduces the ability of commercial banks to create credit, and vice versa. So we have seen repo rate and bank rate. Now repo rate versus bank rate. How repo rate and bank rate are different? Repo rate and bank rate are almost similar, except the following difference. Just now we have discussed that repo rate is applicable to short-term lendings, by the central bank and is governed by the short-term interest rate, whereas bank rate is applicable by long-term lending by the central bank and is governed by the long-term interest rate. Now let us see what is reverse repo rate. Just now we saw repo rate, bank rate. Now what is reverse repo rate? So reverse repo rate is exactly the opposite of repo rate. Reverse repo rate is that rate at which RBI borrows money from commercial bank. As we have seen that repo rate is the rate at which central bank of a country lends money to commercial bank to meet their short-term needs. But reverse repo rate is the rate at which RBI borrows money from commercial bank. So repo rate, you have seen that commercial banks get money from central bank. That means central bank lends money, whereas in reverse repo rate is that rate at the central bank of India, that is RBI, borrows money from commercial bank. RBI makes use of this tool when it feels that there is excess money supply in the banking system. So when there is excess money supply in the banking system, money supply is more and more. So RBI use this tool. Banks are always happy to lend money to RBI because they know that their money are in safe hands with a good interest, and they will get commercial banks are very happy to give loans to RBI because they know that their money is in the safe hand and they will get a good rate of interest. So an increase in reverse repo rate induces the banks to transfer more funds to RBI due to attractive interest rates. So hope this is clear to you all that what is repo rate, what is bank rate, and what is reverse repo rate. Repo rate is also known as repurchase rate, bank rate is also known as discount rate, and reverse repo rate we have done. Now let us see open market operation, the third method to control credit supply. What is open market operation? OMO. Open market, as the word itself implies, that is kind of open market, which refers to buying and selling of government securities by the central bank from or to the public and commercial bank. That means it is a kind of market where buying and selling of securities take place by the central bank to the public or to commercial bank, or from the public to central bank, or from commercial bank to central bank. So RBI is authorized to sell or purchase treasury bills and the government securities. Now how sale and purchase of security affects the supply of money and credit? Let us see. Sale of securities by central bank reduces the reserves of commercial bank. That means if central bank make sale of securities, then commercial banks reserves are reduced, which adversely affects the bank ability to create credit, and banks are not able to create credit because their reserves are reduced, and therefore there is a decrease in the money supply in the economy. So that means when securities are sold, how commercial bank is affected? Commercial banks reserves are reduced, which in order affects the bank ability to create credit. So commercial banks are not able to create credit to that level, and therefore there is a decrease in the money supply in the economy. Whereas purchase of securities increases the reserves of commercial bank, and commercial banks have more of ability to create credit. They have ability to create credit, and therefore there is an increase in money supply in the economy. Now there are conditions necessary for success of open market operations. So there are certain conditions which are necessary for success of open market operation. What are they? Let us see. There should exist a well developed and organized security market. The reserves of commercial banks should be affected with the sale and purchase of securities. The central bank should hold adequate securities to influence money supply in the economy, and there should not be frequent fluctuations in the value of government security. So these are 4 conditions which is necessary for success of OMO, that is open market operations. Now let us see another tool of controlling credit, that is legal reserves requirement, known as variable reserves ratio method. So what is this? As you can see, it's written legal reserves requirement or variable reserves ratio method. According to legal reserves requirement, commercial banks are obliged to maintain reserves. So according to this requirement, every central banks are obliged to maintain certain reserves, and it is very quick and direct method for controlling credit creating power of commercial banks. So banks are required to maintain reserves on 2 accounts: cash reserves ratio and statutory liquidity ratio. Let us see what is CRR. As we have discussed CRR earlier also, it refers to a minimum percentage of net demand and time liabilities to be kept by commercial banks with the central bank. So that means that every commercial banks are required to maintain minimum percentage of their net demand and time liabilities with the central bank, and a change in CRR affects the ability of commercial banks to create the credit. For example, an increase in CRR reduces the access reserves of commercial banks and limit their credit creation power. So an increase in CRR, that means if cash reserve ratios increase, it reduces the access reserves of commercial banks, which limit their credit creation power. Now let us see what is statutory liquidity ratio, that is SLR. So SLR refers to minimum percentage of net demand and time liabilities which commercial banks are required to maintain with themselves. So there's a slight difference. CRR, in case of CRR, they are required to maintain a minimum percentage of net demand and time liabilities with the central bank. But here in SLR, they are required to maintain, the commercial banks are required to maintain minimum percentage of net demand and time liabilities with themselves. So SLR is maintained in the form of designated liquid assets. You all know what is liquid assets. Liquid assets means which can be easily converted into cash, such as access reserves, unencumbered government and other approved securities or current account balances with other banks. So change in change in SLR affects the freedom of banks to sell government securities. Point to be noted, students, how change in SLR is affecting. So change in SLR affects the freedom of banks to sell government securities or borrow against them from central bank. An increase in SLR reduces the abilities of banks to give credit and vice versa. So if there's an increase in SLR, it will reduce the ability of banks to give credit and vice versa. So hope you understood all four methods. Right now I taught, that is repo rate known as repurchase rate, bank rate or discount rate, open market operation, and legal reserve requirement. Now there's one more method, that is last, margin requirement. Now we will see margin requirements. So students, the last tool or the last method to control credit or money supply is margin requirement. What is actually margin? Margin is difference between the amount of the loan and market value of the securities offered by the borrower against the loan. So it is a difference between the amount of loan, that means the amount of loan which is given, and the market value of the security offered by the borrower against the loan. Now, in order to understand, let us see. If the margin fixed by the central bank is 40%, then commercial banks are allowed to give a loan up to 60% of the value of the security. So how it is going to affect the capacity of borrowing capacity and money supply? Let us see. Now, an increase in margin reduces the borrowing capacity and money supply. You might not understood this line, that how increase in margin reduces the borrowing capacity and money supply. Let us assume, suppose you want a loan of 10 lakh. Okay, you want a loan of rupees 10 lakh, and if I say that the margin is fixed by 60%, that means you are going to get loan only on 40%. So you will get less loan. But if I say that margin is fixed by 40%, then you will get more of loan, because you will get 60% amount of loan. So in that case, if there is increase in margin, it reduces the borrowing capacity and money supply, whereas a fall in margin encourage you to borrow more. You will get more of borrowings. So RBI may prescribe different margins for different types of borrowers against the security of the same commodity. And margin is necessary because if a bank gives a loan equal to the full value of security, then bank will suffer a loss. Yes, this point is very important, and it must be noted that if banks start giving loan equal to the full value of the security, then bank will definitely suffer a loss in case of fall in the prices of security. So hence this margin is to be maintained. Hope it is clear to you all, students. Now in my next video I will discuss qualitative and quantitative instruments, and then the difference between central bank and commercial bank. So thank you to all those who are watching my video. Thank you.